has your experience been with the You Can Tutor membership?
Well, I'm actually, if it's okay with you, I'm going to go a little bit before You Can Tutor to tell
Yeah,
you why I wanted to join You Can Tutor. So
awesome.
I met you, Audrey, I don't know, several months ago, and I just found an instant connection. Like I just found I can talk to you and get support from you. And I, when you created You Can Tutor, it was a no-brainer to join. I've always enjoyed your support and lavished in the advice that you give. And so joining your group was just the next step in terms of growing my business. So I know I could rely on getting even more support and getting you when I need you.
Yeah, because it's sometimes it seems like that's kind of missing with a lot of some other programs. It's almost like when you want somebody, you're like, okay, oh, how much do I have to pay for this in order to get some additional attention?
Yeah. Audrey, it's amazing. You're always approachable, you're always accessible. If I need some advice or just a little bit of motivation, if you can't speak with me right away, you'll speak with me within 24 hours, like one to one, answer any questions that I have, give me advice, whether it's advice I'm looking for or advice I'm not necessarily looking for but need. It's always great to have. And I find that you give me what I need to do. I'm not always right on top of it. I really should be. I mean, I recommend that anybody who gets like advice from you should just jump on and do what you say. And but I mean that's something I need to work on, is just being more on top of my activities. But with the collaboration days and the meetings, there is some accountability, and it keeps us motivated.
I mean, and one main thing is I always wanted out of this membership is to make sure that I'm giving people the support that they need. Sometimes I might say a few things that might be a little extra, which will be oh, I never thought I needed that. You're like, yeah, you might need a little extra push, but I'm not here to just give you the magic pill. There isn't a magic pill. Like, no matter what, there's going to be some work and some requirements. But I always like to help people with the step by step. So, like for the other day when we were doing Google Business, and just to kind of walk you through and to realize, like, oh, this wasn't that technical, but it just seems like when you see these things, it just seems like I don't think I can do this. And we got it completely done, and we were done in like what, 5-10 minutes, like at the most. And that's the one thing I really do take precedence with. It's like I want to make sure that you're seeing that you can do this.
Well, I mean, as I said in the beginning, I appreciate most how available and accessible you are, and I know how crazy busy you are, but you always make time for me and for the group in its whole. And I that's so remarkable. I wanted to add that it's not just joining a group with Audrey as a leader, it's joining a group with fellow tutors and creating a network of people. Working from home, having an online business can be really lonely and isolating. And it's great to have a network of other people who, yes, they're operating a business, but you can just chat and everybody is so nice and wants to help. And it's a really great group, and I can't wait to see the group grow and to grow the network. I'm happy that You Can Tutor exists and that you've created this opportunity for us.
Yeah.
And one thing that Audrey was just saying, like what you were just saying, is that you'll offer the advice, what to do, but you're not expecting us to be like little U's. I mean, you said that before, and
Right.
it's not. So you don't say this is what you must do. You understand who we each are as individuals, and how our tutoring businesses are different. Our subject, our our ideal clients are different, and our personalities are different. and
Hmm.
you're able to help us use our individualities to work on our business rather than just saying XYZ is the approach that you need to follow. Well, you might need to divert from that a little bit.
Exactly. It's almost like what you do when you used to be in the classroom. Like you're going to have students of different capabilities, different disabilities, but they all want to learn. And it just seems like when you put too much of a time frame, like even like, okay, this is 8 weeks, this is 12 weeks. And it just seems rushed and it's so much time. It just, you're not given an opportunity to let it sink in. And then all of a sudden you have questions, but it always happens after the program is over and you're like, oh, I got questions now, and how do you do this? And then you're searching on YouTube and you're searching over here and you're talking to people that are like, oh, I'm an expert, and you talk to them and you're like, that's the same information I got over here. Or but it's never really designed for your business. Everyone, like you said, everyone's going to be different. And even though the whole subject matter is tutoring, but your approach of the tutoring is going to be different because you are not like everyone else.
Exactly. And yeah, it was a no brainer for me to join the group. And being a founder is great. I'm really
Yeah.
thrilled to have met you when I did and been able to jump in right at the beginning on while you're like building the group and to be part of the basis for it.
And that's the one thing that's also good about this group. It's never just this is it. Like it's always ongoing as like, technology constantly changes. So there's always going to be something new that's going to pop up almost every month. There's always like a new platform or there's a new idea that may actually help and transform. And we're always going to have those discussions and we're always going to have that support. And even with the course, it gives you the premise. It gives you, like, I call it the ecosystem. So like the basics of the basics, starting with your mindset, going to the business plan, then progressing into all the way up to the onboarding, like what to say when you finally get a client and what should be already set up. So then when it does come time for you to get a client, you're like, hey, I'm already ready to go. All I needed was just for you to say yes, and everything's all ready to roll. So having that course and then having that support, it really like stems like, okay, it's not just for 6 weeks. It's not just for 12 weeks. I really want to kind of hold on to people for about a year because things always kind of fluctuates and change, but it's always ongoing. And
Mhm.
that's the one thing that I really value because your questions are going to change. Your questions are not going to be the same every month. Um, and then also some of the new things that's out there, or even some of the things that's been out there for years, we never paid attention to it because we didn't have to. And now we're like, oh wait, I do need that for my business. And you're like, okay, well, how do you do it? And I'm like, oh, I've been doing this for years. That's the reason why we want to go into the You Can Tutor. And I really do appreciate, you taking time to actually talk your side of what you've been feeling about You Can Tutor. So before we close out, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
I do. If there's
Okay.
anybody who's on the fence about joining the group and you want to reach out and talk to somebody who's a member rather than Audrey herself, I'm happy to talk to anybody. Just reach out, DM me. You can find me on Facebook, Michelle Tobe. Um, and yeah, I'm happy to have a conversation with you if you just want to speak to a member. Um, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you
Okay.
so much, Michelle. I greatly appreciate you being here.
All right. Thank you.